For further analysis, we are joined from Ankara by former Turkish diplomat Dr. Melih Demirtas. Thank you for joining us. So, Foreign Minister Fidan says Egypt could join once technical issues are resolved. So, what specifically are these technical hurdles, in your opinion?
Yes, Egypt is an important partner, I think, of this alliance. We know that not with this Mecca defense agreement of nowadays very famous maybe now issue in the world politics and regional politics, but also for this last month, I think, between Turkiye, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, and Egypt, there has been important partnerships going on. And now it is institutionalized maybe with this agreement in Mecca, I mean, just 2 days ago. And now our foreign minister said that Egypt will support it maybe with, of course, in an official sense. We know that Egypt is not only for the Middle Eastern issue, but for the humanitarian case in Palestine, also for the Eastern Mediterranean. I think it means a lot. This technical issue can be, first of all, I think it's operational capability, operational status. I mean, between the actors, there has been always an important partnership, as I said, especially military and intelligence level, but especially for the other sections of this partnership, which can be, I think, in a very important maybe partnership in this coming decades. Also, Egypt can maybe give another voice from the field of, for example, from intelligence sector, from military sector, but also with the relations, of course, with the United States, with Israel. We must accept that Egypt is also a critical actor with the relations with Israel and the United States for many years. We can say that it also has some important calculations still going on. Mr. Fidan maybe wants to underline that this partnership will go on. And starting from maybe this Israel's aggressiveness and unilateralism, I think it will not maybe stop in a very short term. It will maybe strengthen in much more maybe new steps. And Egypt, because of this, will be another partner of this agreement. But still, some technical, some operational things must be discussed, and we will see in this coming, especially in this coming months.
Fidan insists that the pact isn't targeting Iran. So yes, it comes as a R4 group: Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, and Egypt. So how do you reconcile those two positions?
First of all, we must look at the nature of these actors. The nature of the actors, I mean, both, Turkiye, of course, Pakistan, but also Saudi Arabia and possibly Egypt. They also had some important historical lessons in their regions, especially in this last 100 years. It was not so easy for all the communities of this, partnerships, because we see some outsiders. First of all, I think some Western partners, but even from the Eastern section, from Russia, China, some other actors, they have always some agenda to be continued in this region. And yes, Iran has another side of maybe this maybe conflictual environment. We know that just 5-6 months ago, some unilateral attacks started first by the United States. We must not forget that this war, these conflicts, have not been started by Iran. But yes, it's also heightened, the tension in the region. And now this alliance, I think, from my perspective, from the Turkish perspective, especially in these last years, we can say that it is not an anti-Iran alliance. It is not also anti-Israel. We must accept that Israel is an actor, an influential actor, although it did an important humanitarian crime in Palestine, still in Lebanon, in other regions. We can say that this alliance, first of all, I think necessitates some stability. And the first option, I think, for these actors is much more stable and much more prosperous environment, first of all, for their own communities.
And with a ministerial committee, political military committees, and a permanent secretariat planned in Saudi Arabia. So how much real command authority will this structure actually carry compared to NATO's Article 5? Or is this really just a symbolic until tested?
We must understand that, especially in the world's public opinion and diplomacy circles, there are some gossips that such a NATO partnership can be also reflected in this region. We must understand that NATO is an entity of a Cold War ideology. It leads, it's of course pioneered by United States. It's of course having important pioneership for many intelligence, sectors from United Kingdom to France. Of course, the other European actors. Of course, Turkey is always an important actor of that union, in NATO. But this regional partnership also arises from a necessity that there must be, as I said in my last answer, of this stability, first of all, in the region. Not in a warlike situation in the Cold War, We have, of course, a region which is so tense, which is so conflictual. But I think, first of all, Saudi Arabia wants to show a leading voice here. As you said, that some important centers, of course, the money, of course, the economy structure, maybe the other background information, everything wants to be led by or piloted by Saudi Arabian friends or partners. But it is also a risk. I mean, because if one country, because of some threat, like from Houthis, like from Iran, I mean, from the perspective of Saudi Arabia, we must accept that Iran is an important threat still. But as Turkey also, we cannot accept that one country can always have a voice because its economy, because of course, oil sources. First of all, there must be an equal understanding, equal partnership, and ethical foreign policy ideology, especially in such a region of Middle East, Eurasia, also which expands to Pakistan region.
So if Egypt joins, does that shift the Pact's center of gravity toward the Eastern Mediterranean and Gaza's single security? And how might Israel read that expansion? And my other question to you is, do you think, would Iran be welcomed to join? Because Fidan has obviously mentioned that, you know, this may expand. So do you think that Iran would be welcomed if it wanted to join?
Why not? I can say Iran's always welcomed from the Turkish perspective. I think from Pakistani brothers, also Egyptian maybe partners. Some important, as I said, tensions still going on between Saudi Arabia and Iran. Unfortunately, because of some religious, maybe cultural, communitarian, we do not see such, of course, reasons for important partnership, especially in the Muslim Islamic world. But it is not also about Islamic or Muslim understanding. It's about the humanity understanding. We are already seeing that how many years the Palestinians suffered because of their religion, because of their, of course, communitarian ideology. And now Israel maybe showed, yes, always its enmity, always its maybe hostility and negative attitude to many actors, not only Iran, to Turkey also, somehow indirectly to Pakistan, and of course Egypt. Although Egypt is important partner from United States, we know that Egyptian and Israeli relations is also not so positive for many years. Now, an important alliance also going on between Israel, the Southern Cyprus administration, of course, Greece, and possibly from this Indian section. And because of this partnership or alliance, we can see that this alliance can be also a balancing, of course, an equalizing factor in the field. And we will be maybe supported and strengthened with the participation of Egypt, first of all, and possibly, as you said, by the participation of Iran. And now I think Israel must think twice that it cannot be so destructive as it did in this, especially last 3 years in the region.